Hello students, welcome to JRF with Ria. Today we are going to discuss about the geosynclinal orogenic theory of Kobe. This is the part 3 video of mountain building chapter. Firstly, discuss about the objectives of geosynclinal orogen theory. Famous German geologist Kobe has presented a detailed and systematic description of the surface features of the earth in his book Darbau der Erde. This is the German language book. His main objective was to establish relationship between ancient rigid masses or tableland and more mobile zones or geosynclines, which he called orogen. Kobe not only attempted to explain the origin of mountains on the basis of his geosynclinal theory, but he also attempted to elaborate the various aspects of mountain buildings. For example, formation of mountains, their geological history and evolution and development, etc. He considered the old rigid masses as the foundation stones of the present continents. According to him, present continents have grown out of rigid masses. He defined the process of mountain building or orogenesis as the process which linked rigid masses with geosynclines. In other words, mountains are formed from the geosynclines due to the impact of rigid masses. Now come on to the orogenic force. Kobe's geosynclinal theory is based on the forces of construction produced by the cooling of the earth. He believed in the construction of history of the earth. Now come on to the base of the geosynclinal orogen theory. According to Kobe, there were mobile zones of water in the places of present-day mountains. He called mobile zone of water as geosynclines or orogen, or the place of the mountain building. These mobile zones of geosyncline were surrounded by rigid masses, which were termed by Kobe as cretogen. Kobe has identified 6 major periods of mountain building. 3 mountain building periods about which very little is known, as reported to have occurred during pre-Cambrian period. Paleozoic era saw 2 major mountain building periods. The Caledonian or orogenics was completed by the end of Silurian period, and the Veriscan orogeny was culminated in Permo-Carboniferous period. The last or 6th orogenic activity, known as alpine orogeny, was completed during Tertiary epoch. Now come on to the mechanisms. According to Kobe, the whole process of mountain building passes through 3 closely linked stages of lithogenesis, orogenesis and leptogenesis. The first stage is related to the creation of geosyncline due to the forces of contraction caused by cooling of the earth. This preparatory stage of mountain building is called lithogenesis. The geosynclines are long and wide mobile zones of water which are bordered by rigid masses, which have been named by Kobe as foreland or cretogen. These upstanding land masses or forelands are subjected to continuous erosion by fluvial processes, and eroded materials are deposited in the geosynclines. This process of sediment deposition is called sedimentation. The ever increasing weight of sediments due to gradual sedimentation exerts enormous pressure on the beds of geosynclines, with the result the beds of geosynclines are subjected to gradual subsidence. This process is known as the process of subsidence. This twin process of sedimentation and resultant subsidence result in the deposition of enormous volume of sediments and attainment of great thickness of sediments in the geosynclines. The second stage is related to mountain building and is called as stage of orogenesis. Both the forelands start to move towards each other because the horizontal movement caused by the force of contraction resulting from the cooling of the earth. The compressive forces generated by the movement of foreland together caused contraction, squeezing and ultimately folding of geosynclinal sediments to form mountain ranges. The parallel ranges formed on either side of the geosyncline have been termed by Kober as Rentketten or marginal ranges. According to him, Tethys geosyncline was bordered by European landmass in the north and by African rigid mass in the south. The sediments of Tethys geosyncline were compressed and folded due to movement of European landmass and African rigid mass together in the form of alpine mountain system. According to Kober, the alpine mountain chain were formed because of compressive force coming from two sides, north and south. Okay, Mediterranean Sea is in fact an example of median mass between Pyrenees-Provence range in the north and Atlas Mountains and their eastern extension in the south. Corsia and Sardinia are remnants of this median mass. Anatolian Plateau between Pantic and Taurus ranges is another example of median mass. The third stage of mountain building is characterized by gradual rise of mountains and their denudation by fluvial and other processes. Continuous denudation results in gradual lowering of the height of mountains. Now look at the evaluation of the geosynclinal erosion theory. Though Kober's geosynclinal theory satisfactorily explains a few aspects of mountain building, but the theory suffers from certain weakness and lacunae. The first is the force is contraction as envisaged by Kober is not sufficient to cause mountain building. In fact, very extensive and gigantic mountains like the Alps and Himalayas, the Rockies and the Andes cannot be formed by the force of contraction generated by cooling of the earth. According to Suess, only one side of geosynclinal moves whereas the other side remains stable. The moving side has been termed by Suess as backland, whereas stable side has been called foreland. According to Suess, the Himalayas were formed due to southward movement of Angara Land. Kober's theories show how explain the west-east extension movement, but northwest extension mountains like Rockies and Andes cannot be explained on the basis of this theory. Inspired of a few inherent limitations and weakness, Kober is given credit for advancing the idea for the formation of mountains from geosynclinal sediment because geosyncline found birth in almost all the subsequent theories, even in plate tectonic theory. So that's all for this session. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep learning.